I'm seeing it from the point of the archetype. So, as you know, for example, in the Catholic and many Christian traditions, not only Malta, but included Russia, etc., included many different countries. So, the archetype of God and archetype of Jesus are a bit different. Yeah. So. And what I saw in Malta, the archetype of Jesus is the suffering Jesus.
Right, exactly.
With the bruises, bleeding, and suffering.
Yeah.
So what can you feel if someone is suffering for you? You can feel only guilt.
Correct. Yes.
You feel guilt, compassion. You feel that if you want to be like this, that you have to suffer. So you believe for suffer. This is the answer from my point. The answers for your questions. However, knows by studying Christianity, the amazing things, the miracle things of Jesus, is the resurrection. Because so many have been crucified and suffered on the cross. However, only Jesus managed to resurrect. So this picture of Jesus in resurrections, you hardly can see in the churches.
Really?
And
it stops at the cross, you're right.
It's imprinted into people's mind. I hope I won't be burned in, as a couple of centuries in the fire.
For giving good advice, for telling the church to update.
So, however, even though I believe for Jesus, however, I believe for Jesus' resurrections.
Okay.
Because that is the example for me. So whatever happened to you, how deeply you are suffering, you have a chance to be resurrected.
Right.
You have your soul, your emotions, your mind, your whole life can be resurrected. So, and that is the beauty, and that is the confirmation of life. Not the...
Oh, interesting.
Not this suffering, tears, etc.
Why do you think they did that? Because now that you like this is the first time I've really thought about it, and I think about this stuff quite a bit, right? Because the finality of that story isn't the crucifix. The crucifix is just a stage in the story.
Exactly.
The story ends with him living happily ever after.
Exactly,
but
John.
The story we always get imprinted in our mind is, oh, look how much he suffered. Oh, and you're going to lie. You know how much pain that guy went through because of you? And that is everything. And I don't know, you've been in Malta a long time, so you've probably been to these El-Ġimgħa Kbira on Good Friday. Like the statues are like horrorcore.
It's like a dark mass.
It's very dark. It's like...
You know what? The feelings of guilt is also archetypal.
Okay.
And the more it's imprinted in our mind, the more easy to manipulate with a human being. So I'm seeing it as an instrument of manipulation. I'm asking to forgive me to everyone who disagree.
Yeah.
However, you can see it clear. You cannot cut half of your brain and not think about it.
Yeah.
But you can see the more people feeling guilt, the easier to manipulate. So this is why sometimes females manipulate men, but making them
feel guilty. Just to defend religion for a bit. It'll be a very short bit. Recently I saw some, like a study about, like they interviewed people that have like progressive, liberal, left-leaning ideals that tend to not be religious, tend to not be conservative, tend to not care about the family unit and things like that, and that like values can be anything and you can just choose whichever values you like and then you pursue them. And they interviewed another group of conservative people that are more inclined to have families, have a religious group, be part of a community, and have very kind of well-defined value structures that are conservative. So they come from, from several generations before them. They've kind of inherited that value structure. And what they found was that the people that don't have a conservative value structure are far more anxious, far more likely to commit suicide, far more likely to have suicidal ideation. So for me, I think religion, while it does have this tendency to become excessively orderly, excessively imposing of its values, and use bad tools like guilt, like what we're saying, and fear, if you do that, you're going to hell forever. So stop. At the same time, religion has these, what I think are archetypical values that resonate with us on a very deep level. And I think Christ and perhaps some other figures, perhaps Moses at certain times, perhaps Abraham at certain times, were also archetypes calling us to nobility.
Mela, tlaqna?